Yes, let's welcome Emily Bassett to the stage. She has been a force behind the scenes for many years, but she is also a force in her own life and her own career. So she is the co-founder of Start Me Up Marketing Solutions. She started out working with tourism and small businesses, but now is helping businesses big and small alike to elevate their business. Tourism for her was more than just a marketing focus, but a true lifestyle. She's now traveled to 37 countries and with no end in sight. And from the mountains in BC today, she will be telling us about some real talks in marketing safety and how to avoid being scammed in the industry. She is currently, the music she's hooked on is Taylor Swift's new album. And it's called The Life of a Showgirl. Her gift for us today will be a marketing security audit, which she will drop in the link to her calendar in the chat. And then one big prize will be a 1-month marketing strategy breakdown with her and her team. I'm going to apply for that one for sure. So Emily, welcome to the stage.
Thanks so much, Kathy, and hi, everybody. I hope you guys have all been having a great morning. These events are just incredible for filling up your cup, and this one is really no different. So yeah, day 2 and still going strong. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of like marketing safety and kind of getting scamming in the industry. Essentially what's happened is I've actually met quite a few people that had come from just like other agencies or freelancers and things like that. And their marketing was a bit of a mess. And they actually have sometimes been putting themselves in vulnerable positions, but from not in any obvious ways. So they were things that agencies had told them, this is just normal, this is what we do, and the person took it as true because this is their expertise, you know? I'm in the same position where if my accountant was secretly scamming me, I don't think I would be able to know, you know? Like the stuff that they do is kind of beyond what I do, and therefore it's hard to tell. So there's a few things that you can kind of watch for that are like kind of like red flags for me and what you can do pretty easily with either the teams you're working with or future teams that you do work with. And I just wanted to kind of give you guys those tools, especially as women in the business industries. Like, unfortunately, we're a little bit like volatile to this stuff, and screw that. So off we go. Cool. So one of the number one things that I see is that companies will try to set everything up for you under their own name. So this is like a pretty big problem. So essentially, if you have a company that's like, I'll set up your domain, I'll do all this stuff for you, I'll set up your website, no problem. And they're never asking for your emails, you're never getting admin access or ownership. You could actually be secretly putting yourself in a position where if you ever stop paying that person, they fully take your website, they fully take your analytics, like literally everything. I mean, I have no problem name calling a little bit, but things like Yellow Pages set websites up. There's a few other companies that say like, we'll build a website for you. And it's not saying that that's like not an option altogether, but just know you do not own that website. If you ever stop paying them, then that is not yours. And it does not matter that it's your domain and your business. And honestly, it doesn't even matter that you've trademarked it. Like they can't necessarily go forward and act as you with that website, but they can hold that and they can say it's $1,000 to buy your domain back or 15,000 to buy your domain back. And they can take that website and they cannot, like, you know, they don't have to go forward with it. So if you're sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, my agency completely holds my website, it might not be a problem. You might not have ever asked the question. So you can just simply approach whoever you have and say, hey, I just want to make sure I have admin access and full ownership of my website. That's the number one I see being like problematic. So definitely check that out. But the recent ones have been more interesting. So some large agencies in North America, which I'll go into names, but I've actually recently found out that like big marketing agencies have actually been setting up Google Analytics for their clients where they have full control over it. So what this means is all the data that's being collected from your industry on your business and yours, whatever, is coming to them. And if you ever stop paying them, they will take that with you. We actually recently had a client where the Google Analytics tag continued to stay on their website for a year after they worked with them. And all of that data, the agency refused to give to them. So they have kept all their data and all the data that they literally have no history, demographic history or traffic history of their website. They don't know how many people came to their website last year because the agency said, yep, we set it up for you, so it's ours, and off we go. So how you check out this, the same thing, if you're working with an agency, you just never bothered to ask the questions, might not be a problem. But when you are in Google Analytics, you can go into your settings. There's an access and permission section, and you can literally look at and make sure you are admin. You should be admin to everything. Your Google My Business, you should be the owner. So there's a difference on Google My Business between admin and owner. So Google My Business owner, but Google Analytics, Google Ads, all of those, you just need to be an admin. So then you should be good. Be cautious. I mean, I don't want to be a hypocrite in the sense of like, I do ask lots of clients to put me an admin on their accounts because obviously it's a lot easier for me to just help set you up than, have like teach you everything. But we would never, like we would never do that. So do be careful though to not give admin access out to everybody. Technically, if you do have like, if say there's a team of 5, if you give them multiple people admin access, then they could overrule you and kick your admin out, right? So, and this applies on Facebook, this applies on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's a pretty big one. There's super admins. So 2 super admins can kick you out of your super admin position. So just like be very cautious that you're not sending out admin access all willy-nilly. Content access and anything but admin access is a little bit, you can be a little bit more trusting with because they'll never be able to kick you out. So that's kind of a thing to be cautious on. So yeah, and that's why I'm gonna drop a link in like I said, at the end of my call where I will help you literally walk through all these accesses on your computer and be like, okay, do I own all my business? All this work I've put into it, could it be pulled under from me at any moment? But I do want you to know how to ask the questions. And if you're already working with an agency, it might be a bit awkward, if to stick another person checking in. So I just want to make sure you have all the tools to do it yourself. Okay, so then the last one for accesses is social. So I briefly mentioned it. So Facebook is a nightmare, as I'm sure we all know. So there's Meta Business and there's Facebook, So in your Meta Business account, you can have different user levels in there. And then in your actual front-facing Facebook, you can also have page users. So if someone's just creating content for you, doing social posts and stuff like that, they just need page access. They don't need that deep Meta Business access. Someone's going to be running ads for you or doing stuff like that. So then they need that deeper access. But like agencies like myself, we can actually be attached as an agency or a business partner. There's lots of ways to not just sort of hand over your full administration to your marketing agency. So just like, again, be checking in. And if you ever just like get a weird vibe from your marketing person or anyone you're working with, just go in and just change some of those accesses for a minute, Like there's been crazy stories of people that have just been manipulated from other people in their lives and suddenly access is like, like a problem. Or maybe like that's not what they're doing in their business anymore, so they don't protect their own passwords and now their password's been compromised and now they've been hacked and then therefore your stuff is, right? So if you're ever getting weird vibes from people that have admin access to your stuff, just go and switch that access until you like feel good about it. As a little reminder too, a huge one we run into is when we're helping someone set up an account, there'll be like 17 people in the back end that have user access to all of their stuff, all their websites, all their Facebook, everything like that. So we definitely forget to like clean up our own backyard. So definitely advise you guys just to like check in and see who has super admin to your LinkedIn business page, see who has super admin to whatever. If you've worked with a team recently, you don't work with them anymore, maybe it's a good time to refresh your passwords, you know? And again, it's not necessarily because this person is like a bad person. It's just like if this isn't going to be their focus anymore, they're not prioritizing you, then they might not be prioritizing your safety and your password safety and little things like that. So just be cautious with that. Um, cool. So the other thing, oh, and then yeah, I mean, we kind of touched on it with website, but your domain is kind of a big one. It's pretty, I see it a lot that agencies will buy your domain for you, and then therefore it will be on their GoDaddy. I know it's intimidating sometimes to have to set up like a Namecheap or GoDaddy or whatever, but like that's the whole name of your business. So just take the extra minute. If like usually they will happily walk you through it, you know, or maybe you even already have it set up because they did set it up under your name, but do find out where your domain. So that's like the URL of your actual website. Find out where that lives and just make sure that you fully own that because that's like, you know, that's the door to your website. Even if they give you the website, if the door is gone, then, you know, you've got some problems going on. So just watch that. Another thing that you find with marketing teams is just like a lack of transparency. So this one is kind of interesting. So lots of times we'll just kind of see things happening in the back end. And don't get me wrong, you hire marketing people for lots of different reasons. Sometimes it's just like a bunch of production. Sometimes it's for a specific thing in your business. Other times it's for, you know, just like a long-term scenario or a short-term scenario. So whenever you are working with anyone, just trying to have that transparency as much as possible. So what are they physically doing? Like, do you actually know what they're doing? This one we run into a little bit more with SEO companies. So SEO, specifically search engine optimization, there's two different ways to improve your SEO. It's either on your actual website, so updating copy and photos and dynamic content to keep it fresh and ranking well on Google. And then the other way is to create backlinks. So that's like little articles or press releases or comments on Debstat, like all of the PR kind of backlink strategy stuff. So there are lots of agencies that will essentially create a backlink strategy. And what we call is it's toxic links or just like bad links. So you probably get emails all the time being like, do you want me to set you up with 1,000 backlinks tomorrow for $300? You know, there's lots of spammy emails in the SEO world. So like I will say, the more backlinks you have, like, yes, that is a good SEO strategy, but if they're considered toxic links, then it's actually bad. Like Google will recognize that and Google will actually like penalize you for them. So you have to be quite cautious with when you're getting backlinks. You get a list, and like if you're looking at the list and all of the places you've been mentioned are like Bubble Trouble, Schoolhouse, da da da, and like all these weird things, like those most likely are either not going to benefit your business at all or they might be toxic links. So if you should be able to get a spreadsheet or anything that says the list of all the places that you've gotten backlinks for, and they should feel like they align with your business. If you're an interior designer, they should have the word home, design, furniture, you know, things like that. And the interesting thing with backlinks is Google's algorithm is there's constantly updates going on and all this stuff. Essentially, all to say that, you know, sometimes when we're like, I don't quite know what people are doing, but they showed me the charts and it's definitely working. Backlinks is one of those things that can make a chart really look like it's working. So if you create a whole bunch of backlinks, it's created a bunch of stuff where there's more, you know, authority building to your website. It's going to make it look like you have all this increased traffic, but it's not going to be the right audience. And Google's going to see it. Usually it takes as little as a quarter, so 3-4 months, but sometimes it can take up to a year. Suddenly they're going to recognize all those are toxic links or spammy links, and you're just going to drop right down. So all that work you've paid for, all that service you've paid for a year now is right back to where you started, and you have to create like an actual SEO strategy after that. So just be cautious if you're hearing the word backlinks, you're hearing the word citation building, things like that, that you really understand what's getting done. And you don't have to know exactly how they're setting it up. That's not the priority. It's more just like what has been set up and what, like, is it actually applicable to your business? So, yeah, definitely kind of check on that stuff. I feel like I'd be at a disservice if I didn't quickly talk about just clicking links. We are in a brutal world where they text you, they email you, they do whatever. We're all terrified to click on a link, but sometimes we have to, you know, especially if it looks like it's from a relative, it looks like it's from a friend, it looks like something. So be super cautious with clicking links, obviously. One of the little things, this might be common knowledge at this point, but just in case it's not, if you look up the kind of reply to, specifically on emails, if you look at the reply to email or you sort of expand the email of who it's coming from, you should be able to see the actual like URL that it's coming to. So some of the spams are really obvious. It's like literally, I swear there's probably some that say like hackeraccount.com, you know? So the actual email that it's sending from is like more obvious, but they are getting a lot smarter. So there is ones I've gotten that are literally like Instagram dot customerserviceaccount.com, you know? So it's like they're definitely getting a lot smarter. So like anything that looks even a little bit off about the reply to email or the send from email, then don't worry. If anything, like Instagram and Facebook do not come to you very often. I'm going to be straight with you. You know, if you have a problem, you need to be like literally hunting them down in the streets and like finding them. Like it's a not easy to find. But what they do is they will send you notifications to say that like your password's been changed, your phone number's been changed, stuff like that. It seems like it's the number one email that goes into your spam folder, which makes zero sense to me. But if you start to like feel a little bit weird, check your spam folder or your junk folder really quick. See if you've gotten any of those notifications. And when in doubt, just change your password. Like just change it. And like, honestly, like, you know, I think it is truly the best practice to be changing your passwords like every quarter. We definitely don't all do it. And honestly, this is probably a reminder to myself that we should do a little refresh as well. But it's like, it's just going to be your best way to not get hacked. In saying that, I do have a pretty good record for getting Facebook and Instagram accounts back. It is slow. I am not going to lie to you. It is very slow. Like I've worked with a few people where, you know, we've started the process and like 3 months later, they're like, oh my God, Emily, it seems like I can get in this thing yet. I'm like, oh, that's great. I'm really glad they read my ticket from 3 months ago, you know? But like as much as like your Instagram going down tomorrow, if it's back in 3 months, you still need to pivot your marketing plan for that period of time. But I will say, if you do have an account that you feel like is lost, it might not be lost forever, especially if you've put a lot of work into growing it. Like it's not a quick recovery. It's super, super unfortunate when it happens, but don't give up. Like, yeah, they've all come back in my experience. So you do have to do tickets. Like I'm happy to, you know, if you do want to use your sort of security audit to talk about an account that's been compromised, I'm super happy to do that. But yeah, like there's not been, it's like, I think the longest one has been like almost a year, but it's like everything has always come back. So the nice thing too is because, well, myself, I'm using a business account, and whenever you're doing a business account, just tell them you want to run ads. Like, hey guys, I'm really trying to give you money. I need your help to get this fixed. That will definitely help sweeten the deal and help them answer, even if it's nothing to do with money. At least you got a rep there, especially if you can get them to call you. If you get them on the phone, they're the most useful. It does take a little bit though, so definitely sign in from your business account, use the business support, and just click the ads button as much as you can. And then once you get on, be like, oh yeah, well, my account being hacked or my account being compromised means I can't run ads. They're not going to actually follow up to see if you run ads in the next 3 months. So yeah, be super cautious with the link clicking. change your password often, and anything feels even a little bit weird, like even just anything, just change your password. Like right away, just change it, and something obscure. So small story, I think I'm probably running out of time here, but small story is I used to have an email and it was like literally from when I was like a child, and I had never deleted it, but I had set up my Facebook with it. And someone had hacked that email that I was just existing in the abyss and then kept hacking my Facebook. So I kept changing my Facebook password, but the email notification was going to this old email that I didn't know existed anymore. And then therefore, every time I changed my password, the person just got the password back and things like this. And I was in university and I'm just like, this is crazy. So it definitely just speaks to like how much like cleaning up your assets is like super important, not leaving anything kind of floating, because it could definitely kind of sneak back up on you. So lots of important nuggets in there. Sorry if I went a little over time, but I will drop my link in the chat and would love to make sure everybody is secure and safe forever. And if you have been subject to anything, that hopefully we can help you fix it.
Thank you so much, Emily. That, yes, you did. That, not being the tech person, that was really so much information. And I'm going to go back and listen to this on the replay so that I get it all down. But Deb, did you want to make any observations or comments or follow up?
Observations with Emily. We talk observations every day. No, it's so important. And thank you, Emily, for going in that direction with your conversation, because these are things that are part of building a sustainable business, that we can't do everything with everybody, and as we grow, we start to learn more things. And as we grow, there's different things that need changing. That was excellent. It was everywhere from, the beginning up until major growth. So yeah, let's do the hearts. Let's do the thank yous. Let's do all of that. And then Kathy, do you